everybody, this is Laura, City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. Today I have a layout that I made for Stretch the Sketch and Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Series 10. In Stretch the Sketch, we take a sketch that's intended for a 12 by 12 inch layout and we either expand it, stretch it, or we shrink it. And as I have been doing for several months now, I am going to shrink the sketch. I am making an album. It's a 6 by 9 inch album, and this is an album that I made in response to a class I took with Janet Fritz of Galaxy Girl Creations. She ran a class called Impactful Storytelling. There are 12 prompts, one for each month of the year, and so I need at least one layout to go with each of those prompts. Today's sketch, Day 16, was created by Rebecca Lockhart, and she makes some awesome videos. I would recommend you checking out her channel. The sketch shows mixed media in the background, so I'm using a piece of paper that has been coated with white gesso, and I'm using a number of Lindy's Starburst sprays, and I'm using the packaging technique to apply the sprays to the background paper. I use 3 different colors. I use Alpine Ice Rose. I also use Cotton Candy Pink, and then Cockle Bells Coral. And I used pinks and I used a peach color because that was the color in the stickers that I'm planning on using on this layout. After I applied a layer of the sprays, I used my heat tool and I dried the background, and then I sprinkled some water on the background and rolled a paper towel on top of it. That helps to create a cool effect, and it lifts up some of the color, and I really just love the way that looks. I went back in a few different times with the Starburst sprays and added some splatters. I wanted to make that circle-ish shape in the background a little bit larger, so I added some more sprays. And then in order to make everything look the same, I added some more droplets of water and picked those up. That way the background would be uniform. Now I'm using a Vicki Boutin heart stencil, and I'm using some Liquitex modeling paste. This is the first time I've used this particular jar of modeling paste, and it was very soft. It definitely didn't have as much body as modeling paste usually does, and I've used Liquitex before, and I'm not really sure why, but I decided to just go ahead and try and use it, and it worked out just fine. It was just a little bit thinner, but that just made it a little easier to spread. I used the stencil, and I spread the modeling paste across the entire area of color in the background. Next, I used some watered down white acrylic paint and I put splatters all over the background. I should have mentioned that after I was done with the sprays and creating the mixed media background, but before I added the modeling paste, I ran this layout through my Mink machine. That way it would be flattened out, and it works pretty well to make the paper flat again. Since the size of the paper that I'm using to create this layout is so much smaller than a 12 by 12 inch sheet of paper, I had to alter the sketch a little bit. I'm using just one photo instead of 3 photos. This photo measures 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and I used my Canon selfie to print this out. I matted my little photo on some white cardstock, and then I also used a piece of green paper that was in my stash. I keep all of my scraps in envelopes by color. I believe that this is a Kaiser craft paper, and the color goes perfectly with those stickers that you're going to see in a little while. And I like the idea of having the dark color around the photo. It just helps to make it stand out a little bit. I'm using one of my Creative Memories cutting tools, this time just for a template, because like in the sketch, I want to have a wreath going around my photo. The acetate flowers that I'm using are Paper Studio brand. There were 2 different sticker sheets that I used. I used some slightly larger flower clusters, and then at the last clearance that they had at Hobby Lobby, I found that when they had taken all the stickers off of their areas in the planogram and moved them to the clearance area in the store, they had a whole bunch of anniversary stickers. And I usually try not to buy too many of anything that's marked down, just because I don't think it's really fair to go in and clean out the whole shelf. But once they move those stickers to the clearance area, many people have had a chance to look at them, and they only have a few left. So I saw 3 packs of these anniversary stickers, and I grabbed them, not because they were anniversary themed, but because they had these beautiful flowers on them, and I knew I would be able to use them in conjunction with the other flower pack. Using the circle that I drew with my pencil as a guide, I placed the acetate flowers in a circle around the photo. The first flowers that I put down were the larger flowers, and then I used the smaller flowers that were on those anniversary packs to fill in some of the spots that the bigger flowers didn't. And then I finally broke out these Dollar Tree gold floral pieces. They had these in the dollar stores near me several months ago, and whenever I saw them, I bought a couple of them because I thought they would be perfect for embellishing layouts like this. When there's a lot of flowers, it would be nice to have little touches of gold mixed in. I added these little stems and flowers all around, mainly the outside of the wreath, and I think they were perfect for filling in any areas that looked a little bare, and they were also nice because they were a touch of gold. A while back, I had a set of, I think they were Jen Hadfield thickers, and they had the same sort of gold sticker in them, and I absolutely love them. So when I saw these at Dollar Tree, I knew I had to pick up a bunch of them. You can always use stickers like this, in my opinion. In most cases, but not all, I trimmed those gold floral stickers down a little bit because the layout is so small. I didn't need them to be very long, so I trimmed them. Sometimes I cut them in half. Sometimes I cut the stem down a little bit, and I think that helped them to match in with the scale of this wreath. I liked the way the wreath was coming, but I thought it needed a little something else. So I found in my stash that I had these flowers that were the perfect color for this layout. They are Martha Stewart cherry blossoms. I wasn't sure if they were going to be too big, but as soon as I put them on the wreath, I really liked them. The flowers themselves are very cool. They almost look like they are molded out of clay, and then there's a little tiny pearl in the center. These flowers have been in my stash for quite a while. I was just waiting for the right layout to use them, and I still have a few left. They were sold at this store called Amazing Savings. This was a discount store. They used to have tons of scrapbooking stuff. They don't have so much anymore, but every time I would go in, they would have something new, and usually the prices were pretty good. So I picked up a few packs of these, and as I'm looking at them now, I'm thinking I should have gotten more of them. They're really cool, and they were very inexpensive. But then I try to tell myself there's always new products out there, and I need to save just a little bit of room in my scrapbooking room for new items. I filled in another spot with those Paper Studio stickers. And now I want to add some punched out border strips on the top and the bottom of the layout. I'm using a Martha Stewart lace punch, and I use that same green pattern paper that I used to mat the photo on. And then I also found a piece of peachy pink paper in my stash. This is a Pebbles piece of paper. It's from a collection called Floral Lane. So I cut a very thin strip of that, and I'm going to place that at the top and then also at the bottom of the layout. I tried to make sure that those scalloped borders were placed on the layout in the same way at the top and the bottom. What I mean by that is I don't want to have half a scallop on the left top hand side of the layout and then have a full scallop on the bottom left hand side. I hope that that makes sense. I try to make the scallops look the same in the top and the bottom. For the title, I'm using 2 stickers from that anniversary pack of stickers, and I'm combining XOXO and Always and Forever. This is going to be a layout about motherhood, and the layout was so small, I didn't even think that I would be able to put even my smallest stickers on there in a way that would look nice, so I decided to go with those pre-made titles. But even though they don't say anything about motherhood, I think the picture speaks for itself, and my journaling will reinforce the concept that this is a layout about motherhood. I love to add pearls and enamel dots to border strips, especially when they're scallops. So I used a really, really tiny, I believe it's a 3mm pearl. These are self-adhesive, and I stuck those down at the top and the bottom on those punched out strips. I added a few more stickers, including a pink heart to the top left-hand side. I added a pearl to it, and that completes this layout. Here are some close-ups. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you take a look in the description box, you'll find links to all of the other scrapbookers who are creating videos for Stretch the Sketch this month. You'll also find a link to the Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches Series 10 playlist, and I hope that you'll check out all of the other videos. There are lots of great scrapbookers making beautiful layouts out there. I hope you have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.